There it is. Hello, everybody. I'm going to give people a chance to get in, um, set reminders out. Today is going to be a hot topic. And I was having a meeting today with some colleagues, and this is the time when we start to enter um, that seasonal depression.
Mhm.
So, this is a good time to be having this, discussing this topic.
It is.
hmm This is a really good time to be discussing this topic. So we're gonna give people a chance to get in here. Come in the room, people. We're gonna be talking about suicidal ideation, some things perhaps you can do to help someone who might be going through what to identify, how to identify it. Um, there's a lot of things we're gonna be talking about concerning this topic. I'm excited. We were supposed to talk about this last week, and our schedules were busy, so we weren't able to. But I'm really kind of glad that we ended up kind of pushing it back because we got a little bit more information, not necessarily on the topic itself, but got a little bit more information, I think. And so everything is as it should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everything is as it should be. So I'm kind of glad that we ended up having to push it back a little bit. Um, let's have this over here on the side. Yes. All right. Um, so we're kind of going off of our experiences, expertise, and all of that great stuff because we have enough experience in this arena. Um,
Unfortunately, yes.
um, I would say fortunately because we can help someone else, but unfortunately because this topic is unfortunate. Um,
Yes.
so we don't. So disclaimer as I have in the description of this live and for this event is that we might discuss some things that could be triggering for you. We might discuss some things that might be heavy for you. Please feel free. I need you to know that beforehand. So you can be aware of your emotions and things that are going on inside you as we discuss this topic. And so, if it gets too heavy and you need to hop off, please do so. And if you need assistance from either of us, we'll have our contact information. At the very least, we have the 1-800-273-8255 number on the
Yes.
screen for you to be
Call.
able to call, and or 911 if you are in immediate need of assistance, feeling suicidal, wanting to harm yourself or anyone else. So
Yes.
we need to say that because it is triggering. It could be triggering,
It
right?
can be. Mm-hmm.
It can be triggering. So Stephanie and I were talking, and we decided to do this topic. This is suicide. September is Suicidal Awareness Month. So this topic comes right in time. Someone had asked about this topic a couple weeks ago, and we thought that September this was befitting since this is um, Suicide Awareness Month. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie, I did not get a chance to take down or pull up my information that I have on statistics. And I wasn't sure if you, no pressure. I just wasn't sure if you did. I did not. Um, I have them somewhere. Yeah. So I have them somewhere. I have them somewhere. So as
So,
we,
November is Suicide Survivors Month, meaning that
mm,
if you are someone who has been a survivor of someone who has committed successfully or unsuccessfully committed suicide, there is an awareness day for that, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you some information. However, I say that to say that every 40 seconds, someone in the world dies from suicide, and
Mm,
every 41 seconds, someone is left to make sense of that.
mm. Let that sink in.
Mhm.
Stephanie and I do this work every single day.
Ugh.
And when I am in a session with somebody and they are and we make that connection and they have those aha moments and about things that they can do, and they get it and they start to see some light,
Mhm.
that's a glorious moment for us.
Mhm.
I have had two of those experiences on this very day.
Me too. Get out of
Yeah.
here.
Two.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't have two. I had one, and yeah, it is, and this is something that this person is challenged with on every single day. And so to have a space to just tell the truth about
Yes.
that experience is golden for them. And I was I just found it to be very fitting and loving that I would get to service them today with this experience. It's like life is so good to me, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so today was one of those days where we had to talk about the why, remember the why, complete the
Mm-hmm.
suicide contract. And this person pretty much, we have to review that almost every
Mm-hmm.
visit. Um,
Yeah.
so it doesn't go away. So it's like every opportunity this person walks in my door, I'm like, I'm excited to see you. Like,
Yeah.
because I know that every day that person is making a choice to stay here and just try just a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And I as I'm sharing, we're working with people, I'm always like, wow, the day is gonna come when there's gonna be like a no,
Right.
not at all
Right.
this week. Like they're gonna be like, oh,
Yeah. And it's so amazing, um, when they get to that point, or they get to the point where, um, I often describe anxiety as, and I can, I guess, describe depression maybe this way too,
mhm,
as it's there, the thoughts could be there. And sometimes it's right in the front seat with you.
mhm,
And sometimes it's in the back seat. And
mhm,
sometimes it's in the trunk, right?
mhm,
It's away,
mhm,
it's locked down. You don't have to think about it, right? Um, and so people go through these cycles where, and I love when it's in the trunk, and every now
mhm.
and then a thought might come up, but I know what to do
Right.
with that. I know how to combat that. And that's where I hear the two people that I'm working with are at this point. It's
Mhm,
like, it's
mhm,
passive, but it's like very passive. It is very
mhm,
far and few in between that is
mhm.
happening, and I'm like, yay, we're getting
Yeah,
there.
I like that analogy. And I'm going to utilize that because this person says, when I look in the back seat and see my little one, I just keep going for one more day, one more day. So that person's experience would probably be in their back seat, which is close. Not the
Yes,
front seat,
yes,
but
yes,
but it's
yes.
just so powerful that just that creating that why. So when I gleaned that information about every 40 seconds, um,
Mm-hmm.
someone is committing suicide, and every 41 seconds, someone is left to make sense of it. Um, that was powerful for me today.
Mm-hmm.
And then I researched about COVID and suicide
Okay.
um, s- uh, statistics and the level of hopelessness. and powerlessness. I want to dispel a myth that some people think that this is a condition for young people and adolescents on,
Right.
like the majority, and it's
Right.
not true. You get a pandemic coming on, you get earthquakes, and you get
Or illnesses or chronic illnesses.
chronic illnesses, tragedies, people losing homes, jobs, and the adults are impacted as well. Adults are
Hmm.
more like for sure to commit suicide than that contemplating, like they,
Right. Right.
because the fear is so much greater, is so overwhelming that
Hmm.
that the response and the reaction is more definitive
Yes.
in grown-ups, if you will.
Hmm.
On September 11th, during my father's birthday party, my 14-year-old grandson, his school sent a message over to my son saying that a 14-year-old boy, school just started,
Wow.
they got a message, and he went to his text message, so he read it before his parents.
Oh, wow.
And so I asked him if he knew him, and he said yeah. And then he just kind of sat really quiet around the fire that evening. um but what is that like? That was just so intense for me. And that was just a few weeks
Yeah.
ago, that he had to experience that, and school just started. And this is first year in middle school, so that was pretty intense. And I remember when somebody in our school in high school, I think I was in 11th or 12th grade, um, when we had to experience that with one of our classmates.
Right. Yeah.
Get the notice of suicide. They didn't have counselors and stuff coming into the schools back in 1984, 85.
Right. Yeah.
But now, the kids have a tremendous support system because people copycat those type of experiences,
Hmm.
especially in that era of adolescence. Then you get another adolescence that wants to duplicate that same experience,
Yeah.
when that happens. So
And that's likely.
I
That's
know,
likely. Like
yeah.
to experience a friend who's committed suicide, the pain of losing that friend is unbearable,
Hmm.
or perhaps what they've been going through
Exactly.
themselves,
Hmm.
and then this pain on top of it.
And the contemplation now
Yes,
becomes a
it don't just
possibility.
happen. It don't
Hmm.
just happen.
Hmm. The contemplation now becomes, that that might be an option.
Hmm. Absolutely. And so it's a serious matter,
It is very serious.
very serious matter. We live in we unfortunately we still live in this time, right?
Hmm.
I don't know if it's as prevalent as before or not, but unfortunately we live we've grown up in and live in a space where um, depression and things like that are thought upon as being weak-minded,
Hmm.
um, or you're not praying enough,
Hmm.
or I've been teaching suicide, depression, anxiety classes for youth for years,
Hmm.
helping them to be able to identify it because unfortunately we didn't have that growing up.
Hmm.
We did
Hmm.
not have that growing up, and we had to figure out what to do with those feelings and those emotions. We did not necessarily have people to go to
Hmm.
um, for it. And so I've taught it. It was actually an actual curriculum in the
Hmm.
school that I worked in, and I taught that and how to identify that and what to do. And I think it was because of that. And we taught it every year. So the kids got like they got the full course maybe freshman year, and then sophomore, junior, senior year, they got some refreshers on it just so that they knew, that it wasn't something they learned one time and they forgot about it. And I
Hmm.
think because of that, they were able to kind of come forth when they thought somebody was in trouble or if they felt like they were in trouble. But unfortunately, we are fighting against this mindset of, first of all, what's wrong with you? All you got to do is go to school.
Right.
That's first. And then I had a young man. Oh my God, I had a young man that was a senior in high school, not at the school that I taught. And when he tried to reach out to parents, and dad found out, mom told dad, and dad said, I'll use my last name. Birds don't get depressed. We
Mhm.
don't have weak minds.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
That was devastating for him
Mhm.
because
So
what's the
what you're
message in that?
experiencing and what you're feeling is not real and not
Hmm. So
worthy
pull
to
it
be
together.
addressed. Yeah, get it together. What is wrong with you?
Hmm.
Mhm.
And that was the messaging to him.
Mhm.
And so he was in such pain. He was a client some time ago. He was in such pain that he was always crying in sessions and stuff because what do I do with this?
Mhm.
And mom did not display that she felt like his mind was weak, but she would not um, get him any help beyond seeing me.
Mhm.
And I felt that he needed it.
Mhm. Wow.
So we were always safety planning and crossing fingers and
Whew.
texting off, outside of appointment times to make
Mhm.
sure he's okay.
Mhm.
Trying to find connects that he could get support from and things like that. And even an intensive outpatient program. Okay, we're not going to do meds, great. Let's do this. And no. And it wasn't say like, no, I'm not going to do that. It was just really passively not doing it.
I think sometimes that adults or partners in a relationship with someone
Hmm.
who is being impacted by suicide feels hopeless to help them because
Yes.
depressed people don't want no help right now at that moment. They when
Right.
they want the help, I'm sorry this bother me. When they want the help, they want the help, but in the moment that you're trying to give that assistance, it's like I'm speaking from my own personal experience with working or living with people who have been depressed, and then working with my clients here that that feeling of powerlessness because you can't help, and they they don't know how to tell you to help.
Right.
How many times I hear couples saying like, I don't know what to do for him. I don't know what to do for her. She won't let me help. She won't let me in. um,
Yeah.
because you go so far down into the depths of despair.
Right.
One of the things that I explained to one couple is that that person is holding on to dear life on the inside.
Mhm. Mhm.
So to communicate and you don't get it is like, yeah, I can't afford for you not to get it. And I'm done. I can't afford to talk about it because I can't
Right.
afford for what would happen if you don't understand.
Right. Right.
And so I definitely want people to hear that. That the interaction with that, it's not that people are being resistant to your help. It's just that when a
Yes.
person has this suicide ideation, they don't want to commit suicide, but it just feels so much like relief.
Yes. It hurts so bad. They
Mhm.
want the pain to stop
Yes. And so to
because
talk
it hurts
about
so
it,
bad.
yeah, to
Yes.
talk about it and be misunderstood one more time could be that moment.
Yes.
And so,
And just listening to them and
mhm,
and I say don't stop don't stop checking in, don't stop,
no,
don't get discouraged,
right.
because even if they don't seemingly hear you right now, when it comes to them, they'll know, oh, I can go
Mhm,
talk to her.
mhm. I'm here is a really beautiful phrase.
That's a whole sentence,
Mhm. I'm
a
here.
paragraph, if you just feel like you need to say a whole lot right there.
Mhm,
I'm here.
mhm. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here. Um,
And I
yeah, so
think that young man, having that, I have to say, within his mom, even though she wasn't real quick to do the IOP, he knew that, and it was because he said, because I had seen him before, and they came back because she was like, he said he needs to see you.
Mhm.
So he was at a point where I know mom will listen because she continuously say, "What can I do to help?" Even though she can't really right now,
Mhm.
but I know that this is a safe space I can go to. And then
Mhm.
she got him hooked back up with me, and
Mhm.
so that was good.
Mhm.
So yeah, we just
I
don't
wanted to
need to just
share
go ahead.
some adult statistics, and then I'll go
Hmm.
back to the lost survivors. But adult statistics. So 3.5. Let me just see where I should start. 1.2 million made plans and attempted suicide. 1.4 million attempted suicide.
Mm.
217,000 made no plans and attempted suicide. 3.5 million made suicide plans. 12 million adults had serious thoughts of suicide.
Wow,
That's a big deal.
that's a big deal.
That's in 2020 or 2019.
Wow. And then you talked about the pandemic, right? Because we're
Mhm.
just kind of locked in. We were for a long time. But then you talk about like all the family. So school was a safe haven for a lot of kids.
Absolutely.
Work was a safe haven for a lot of spouses and partners.
Yep.
And now everybody's locked in together.
Mhm.
Even for um, the person that would be the abuser, going to work was an out.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
now we're all locked in this house together.
Mhm.
And so it's just a pot stirring up
Yeah.
suicide, depression, and suicide. Um, and we also learned, and I learned this through a sermon many, many, many years ago, that, you know, holidays and things like that,
Oh my
suicide is
goodness.
up.
Mhm. Mhm.
Christmas, where we are blissfully celebrating.
Some people hate it.
Yes.
Some people have lost people, and they're every year trying. That's when I think I'm going to pay attention to my notes. I think that that is when you get the biggest possibility. People playing around with it, or I don't want to be
Hmm.
here. I hate that the
Hmm.
holidays are coming. I don't want to be around people. I don't want to go anywhere. I hate Christmas.
Yeah.
And here we go again. And that is when we are trained to do our suicide evaluations and check in. And what does that mean? You don't want to be here? What does that look
Hmm.
like? What would that be like for you? What would it be like for you not to
Right.
be in this space? Or and then you have the people who are pressured because they can't get little Johnny $500 worth of gifts,
Yes.
and they feel like
I
failures. Like,
cannot tell
what
you
is
that I have
real?
never had that pressure. At some point, I have had that pressure till I was sick of having it. Right. But yeah, so people, yes, that part.
It's coming up. This is our
How
time.
about not
Just
even give sometimes it's the meal,
mm-hmm,
the big lavish meal that you're supposed to have
mm-hmm,
on top of
mm-hmm,
all of
yeah,
the woes and cares of the world and living.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this time of year with seasonal affective disorder, holidays coming up, less sunshine.
Hmm.
It's this is the season for people contemplating suicide, along with all the other things that are impacting their journey.
Hmm.
It says that upon suicide, there are 5 to 80 people that are impacted by every suicide. So it's either 5 people or 80 people can be impacted by one person who decides to go through with a suicide
Yeah.
attempt. Um, and then of course, you and I deal with the people that have the complicated grief,
Yes.
left behind, trying to make sense of it, especially if there's a situation where nobody has left a note or
Right.
given any information,
Mhm.
or if it's speculated and no explanation. We hear all the time. I had no idea anything was wrong.
Right.
I had
Correct.
no idea anything is wrong. I remember when my son, he's grown and fine right now, but I don't know. I'm sure I told you, Michelle. He came in my room. He was just bawling his eyes out. Oh my God, he was a star football player. Blah blah blah. Oh my God, he says, "Mom, I'm so scared. I never fail at anything, and I want to kill myself. And I know
Mm.
I'll be successful."
Oh,
That's what he said to me.
wow. Yeah.
I know I'll be successful. That was
Thank
just,
God the relationship is what it is to be able to come and say that without feeling like there's going to be some shame
right.
and judgment and negative talk around it. Thank God.
I won't ever forget that night. I just sat up in the bed like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we
Yes.
do? But
Yes,
yeah.
isn't it? And now, and I know that we were not in this field at that time, but I think
Mhm,
that I know that we were operating in that, and that's why we're here today. I know
mhm.
that.
I'm
But
sure I
then,
prayed.
yeah, but isn't
I
it
was,
crazy how you know what to do, or you think you know what to do when it's somebody else? And when
mhm.
it's you, your brain goes blank. Like, wait, what?
Right.
Wait, huh? Okay, Lord, okay, what do I do? What do I do?
That
Show
I
me.
don't, I
Yeah.
don't even know if he's watching this live because I did not ask permission to share it. I meant to call him and tell him that I was going to, um, but
Well,
I
if
got
you
a bunch
are,
of kids.
honey, please
So.
know that your story is helping somebody.
Yes, yes, but
I too have had the experience, and I was telling someone this today. I remember just calling home saying, "Go outside."
mhm,
What do you mean go outside? Just go outside and stand in the sun, please.
mhm,
Let me
mhm,
hear you while I'm on the phone. Let me hear you walk. Let me hear the door close behind. I need to hear you.
mhm, mhm.
That
I remember that day. Ah,
walk around. Don't go back inside. Just
mhm,
and not being told like, oh, I feel like I'm this, that, and the other. Just my intuition, knowing what it looks like,
mhm,
fearing it. Oh my God, fearing it.
mhm,
Calling home from work, like just knowing in your gut, I probably shouldn't go today. Well, I gotta go,
mhm.
gotta go, gotta go. I don't have to ever worry about those issues again, where
Nope.
something really important needs a girl ever again, where I am in a position
Ooh,
that I don't know if I
yes.
should stay and help, or if I just need to go to work because I don't want to lose my job. I'm not have to worry about that
Mhm,
ever again.
mhm,
Anyway, and just calling back, and it worked for the moment.
mhm, mhm,
And so, by the way, listening audience, a lot of times depression comes from us not having the nutrients, the supplements, the things that we need,
yes.
vitamin D, and the idea of standing in the sun, because God gives us intuition as well. And I don't know where I got it from. I do know because at that time I was teaching
Mhm,
suicide and depression, and I
mhm,
knew that it was a lack of serotonin, a lack of
mhm,
um, you know those chemicals. And so I
mhm,
knew that just
mhm,
standing in direct sunlight could be helpful.
mhm,
I'm trying anything.
mhm, mhm.
You need
Yeah.
these spiders, let's eat spiders. Like I'm trying anything. Let's do
Mhm,
this.
mhm.
And but that's why I say I know that this is what we were supposed to be doing, because we were
Right.
working in this purpose way before we were like, hey, let's go get a license for that. Let's go get a license for that.
Some
So
of the
I did it.
Yeah, and because I was in domestic violence, that arena, that's one of the
Love it for chat.
number one things that women in domestic violence, that's kind of their go-to is suicide, sometimes suicidal attempts, and but a lot of times they feel so hopeless with the power and control dynamics that
Right.
oftentimes women will commit suicide. And that's why now when women go to the doctors, and if your doctor doesn't ask you, you need to
They
check
should.
them.
They should. They
They're
should
asking
definitely be
about,
asking you.
right, asking you about your safety and your suicide ideation, suicide thoughts. Have you ever thought about committing suicide? Because it is a byproduct of extreme hopelessness.
Yes. And
It
don't be
is,
offended because today is written in the script, period. If you
yeah.
come for a cough, if you
Mhm.
come for a regular checkup, whatever, if you come because you bumped your knee, the questions are going to be asked
Yeah.
because this thing is really serious
It's
and the
affecting
numbers are high.
millions of people.
Yes. And the
Millions.
numbers are really high. Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Millions of people are following through, and then you got people who have made attempts and then their lives are completely devastated. They didn't die,
Right.
and so now they're living with the consequences of that choice, which is a whole nother just a heartbreaking experience, because everybody who survives a suicide attempt is not getting up on the stage speaking and empowering people. Some people
Absolutely.
are now even in a deeper depression,
Hmm.
and then they're constantly reminded of the failed attempts, and those people are also highly likely to continue to make those attempts
Attempt.
until they
Yeah.
succeed,
Yeah.
over and over again. Um, and the people who survive, those survivors, it is just like this snowball effect, because now they have the propensity to have depression,
Hmm.
be very hypersensitive with anxiety, uh, um, hyper vigilant,
Yes.
and then of course their own personal suicide ideation.
Hmm.
After that, if someone survives. Well, somebody's saying seasonal depression is hitting a few as well. Yeah.
Yes. We're
Mm-hmm.
starting to talk about it. We had a team meeting today. I had a team meeting today with some colleagues, and that was top of the mind for the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
Is now we're entering into that season,
Yeah.
and I can't even tell you guys when I'm working in this season how my fingers are crossed, my toes are crossed. Is um, a tense time because you know that a lot of the clients on the caseload is dealing with this.
A lot, if
And
not
when the sun,
everybody.
yes, and when the sun starts to come out and spring starts to come, it's like your breath.
Mm-hmm. So get your happy lamps, but we'll talk about that in October.
Yes, yes, get the happy, that
Get your
man right
happy,
there.
get your happy
Yes,
lamps, please.
because I
Start getting
believe
them
in
now.
modeling what you know
Mm-hmm.
that I tell my clients, I got one. Get your happy
Mm-hmm.
lamps.
Yeah, I got one
And
too.
if
I
it's
have
not
two.
cold, if it's not too cold for you to breathe, still go stand outside in the sunlight.
It is never too cold to go outside. We got to wear masks now. Go outside
No,
and
right?
stay. Go
Go outside
outside
and breathe.
every day for
Yes,
5 minutes, 6 minutes. I don't care.
yes.
Go outside and breathe. Go outside if
Hmm.
you're courageous enough to stand in the snow, stand in the snow and
Yes,
ground your body into the ground, into the earth, touch a
yes.
tree or something. All of that brings life. It gives, like, it's life, and it
It
gives us
is.
life.
It
And
is.
encourage your little ones. We've been programmed to
Let your
pull
shows
away.
out.
Yeah, to pull away from the snow, got to be all snuggled up. Go down in there and just kind of teach them now to appreciate the feel of the snow. We got videos of my little one. She likes to play in the snow. She doesn't like to come in. Um, but if we can teach our little ones to enjoy nature, that will help to avoid depression,
Yeah.
as much as you can. And this earth has so much to to teach us. But absolutely. And one of the beautiful things about Chicago, now Michelle may disagree, but you're not from Cleveland. So the sun shines in Chicago,
Yeah,
even though it's cold and it's 50
I
million
agree. It
feet of
does.
snow.
It
The
does. It
sun
just
shines.
doesn't
And
shine
then,
enough
oh,
as
it
it does in
shines.
California to give us what they
Right.
get, right?
Or
But
you
yeah,
can even
I
go to
agree.
Kansas, because Kansas is sunshine every day.
Yeah, I agree.
Every day.
Yes,
Is I don't care how cold it is, that sun is shining. That's the
yes, I
corn.
agree.
It's beautiful. But yeah, and for me, I wasn't challenged with seasonal affective disorder when I lived in Chicago, but my whole life here I was. But
Mhm.
in Chicago, never suffered with it. Kansas, never suffered with it.
Yeah,
It's the sun. But I'm
I
also
know because I know
intentional
we
about
were walking. I don't care what we walking. 5 o'clock in
yes.
the morning, we're walking.
Yes, yes, yes. And it was cold, but it's just nice. So get out there, get out in the sun,
Yeah,
and somebody said, "Happy lamp." They're amazing.
yes, they are. They're absolutely
um,
amazing. Yes,
so some of the other impacts of people who are surviving from people who have committed suicide is empathic grief. Um, that's another thing. The grief. And the shame because
hmm,
of the stigma that comes with suicide. And that's a whole nother subject. But there is a
hmm,
shame that comes with that, with having a family member that has committed suicide, and
yeah,
that shame can then turn into depression. So being mindful of that. One of the things that we really wanted to talk about, or someone requested us to talk about, is survivors of people who commit suicide. And so
yes,
that's why I'm giving attention to that. That
yeah,
when you are a survivor of someone who has committed suicide, understand that depression, anxiety disorders, shame are a part of that process.
yes.
To be mindful of that.
You find yourself. Some people find themselves needing to make up
Stories.
excuses and stories for what really happened,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, because unfortunately there's still such a stigma to it. Um, for feeling that they would be judged, especially with a child.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Feeling that they would be blamed and judged for it.
Hmm.
On top of having your own emotions and feelings about what you could have done different as a parent, as a
The
relative.
grief. The grief is enough, and
Yes,
now you have to worry about external influences and people's judgments about a choice that literally
you had
you are
nothing
powerless
to.
to do anything
Yes,
about.
yes, absolutely powerless to do anything about. Yes. Hey, I had to kind of click away and get back on, um, because I couldn't see the comments, but I can now. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Mom. There's other people watching, but I can't see who they
Hi,
are.
Anita.
Hi, Aisha. Good to see you guys. Thank you for hopping on.
Yes.
Danielle, yeah, we'll talk about that happy lamp because that
Mhm.
is actually a fluorescent lamp that
Mhm.
you can almost kind of like, if it's not almost the same thing as one of those lamps you could have for indoor plants, and you
Oh,
get that
great.
extra
Yeah.
lighting. Yeah,
It's
for
1,000 watt bulb.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, what did you say the watts is?
1,000.
1,000 watts,
Mhm.
and you just kind of sit under it for a few minutes throughout the day. I mean, I do.
First thing in the morning is recommended,
Okay.
to sit for 15 minutes with it on your face, on your skin, um,
Yes.
in the morning, just taking in the sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to do it again in the middle of the afternoon, but you
Yes.
pay attention to it because you got to either have it closer or back, and the instructions tell you
Right.
what to do with it, and you'll feel it.
Yeah.
You get energy. I know that.
You do. I often will tell people if they don't have something like that to go sit near a window. You can't get outside, go sit near a
Absolutely.
window.
Mhm.
Go sit near a window. And just my natural organic self says, raise it up, get some fresh air
Mhm.
because we
Mhm.
like that too.
Yeah, because we're in our air conditioned homes and air conditioned cars, and
Yeah,
we don't typically take advantage of nature.
right.
Um,
Yes.
and let me go here. There was some other cool stuff that
Okay.
information that. Hold on.
Um, we also, before we get off, we're not out of time or anything like that. But before we get off, we're going to talk about some ways to help someone who might, because that's what we were talking about before. Some
Mm-hmm.
ways what to look for, and some ways to help people
Yes.
rather than shying away from it or judging it or um, not helping in the situation. You know, well, what you got to be depressed about? All you got to do is go to school. What? What are you saying to me right now? Because I can remember, and I don't think anybody noticed. I know I certainly didn't tell anybody, but I can remember the summer before going to high school, and I that I just felt so bad. So in my mind, as a teenager, I just thought, like, I don't really have a lot of friends. We had just moved, and maybe that's what it was. I don't know. It just felt horrible, and that's when I started my writing, and I just started writing
Mhm.
poems and just writing letters to myself and just writing. Um, because for our safety, we weren't allowed to like go a lot of places. It was a new environment, so we didn't know a whole lot about it. Then when we did learn people, they had a lot of freedoms that I praise God that I didn't have at the time.
Right. Yes. Hmm.
so so we couldn't really like go a lot of places, and I just remember that. But I also equate that to premenstrual and things like that, because I also remember, not now, I'm going to talk a little bit about hormones a little later, but I just remember being so angry during those times and have no idea why I'm so angry and depressed, none whatsoever. Right.
Hmm.
And neither, I don't believe, did our parents. And so you're met a lot of times with don't get slapped. Who you talking
Hmm.
to? What's your problem? Lose the attitude. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what the problem is. I just remember
Hmm.
being so angry and so depressed feeling. And then all of a sudden it went away.
Hmm.
And it happened all the time.
Hmm.
And now I was just telling somebody today, as women, and this is not to make you feel really bad, but it is, or badly, but it's the truth. We start at puberty. Hormones start fighting in there, and then we have premenstrual, and then we have our menstrual, and then we going into postpartum, and we're having babies, and then premenopause, and then menopause, and postmenopause, and all of these, the hormones are wreaking havoc the whole time.
Hmm.
Then you add, um, birth control and things like that.
Poor diets, because I
Poor
used to eat
diets.
Hostess cherry pies and
Oh yeah,
Hershey's chocolate
yeah.
with almond
Okay, I love
and
that. Hershey
and a
with
Coke. And I don't
and
even drink Coke right now.
those later two were really
Ooh,
good. Yes, together,
that
together, not separate.
that is a chemical imbalance cocktail.
And yes,
But that was my story, and it explains a lot today.
it does. It does. And so one of the individuals I was talking about that had this aha and feeling really good, the tweak was natural.
Hmm.
The appointment is made for the psychiatrist just in case, but the tweak was natural.
Hmm.
She was like, "Oh my God, I'm running every day miles." I said,
Hmm.
"How do you feel?" She was like, "I feel amazing."
Hmm. Hmm.
That's not the only tweak, right? But it's
Right.
natural, changing the
Yeah.
diet, all of
Hmm.
that, getting the levels checked,
Yes.
right? I'm not opposed to medication if people need medication,
Yeah, me either.
right?
Hmm.
But what I will tell you is, let's do this, and this first. Let
Hmm.
let's do that. Well, let's do it all in conjunctions.
Right,
Sometime
right. Preferably.
go see your
Mhm,
physician. That's the very first thing
mhm,
I'll say. Go get your
mhm,
levels checked. All your blood levels, vitamin D, vitamin whatever. Go get them checked. And I can tell you 9 times out of 10 times, if I had to put a number to it, of the people I've told that, 9 out of 10 came back saying,
D
I'm vitamin
levels
D
is low.
deficient.
Mhm, Mhm.
Okay, here's your prescription. Happy lamp. You know, cucumber
Yeah.
water.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we go there first. But again,
Mhm.
if it is very severe to the point where we're crossing fingers and toes and checking in every, you know, and some, let me just be clear. We do the assessment and then we
Yeah.
do the safety plan.
Yes.
But just understand, just because we do a safety plan does not always mean that we don't have to be concerned any longer. It never means we no longer have to be
Mhm.
concerned.
That's why I said when they come into the office, I'm like, oh, in myself, I'm like, they've survived another week. They're here,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, but
I have
we
a
really,
colleague who the person's safety plan was well, came to session, seemed fine. She was able to gauge, or she thought, because that was a long time person she'd been seeing, and he went home that day and committed suicide.
yeah, I have a colleague who
And
experienced
that
it.
was very devastating for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we say um, this is serious, and if you have not experienced depression or anxiety or suicidal ideation or anybody around you, kudos, praise
Mm-hmm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
please don't minimize people that do.
Mm-hmm. So if you do, like, don't be afraid to talk about it. So
Please
a lot
don't.
of people like don't want to mention the word. That, like, if I say it, they might do it. Anybody that wants to commit suicide will commit suicide. There is nothing you can do when a person
Or
is
say,
determined to leave here. They are determined to leave here. All you can do is support them. All you can do is show up unafraid of their suffering and show up understanding that I get it. Tell me how I can support you. You can call me, you can cry, you don't I won't fix it. I'm not going to try to
that,
fix
say
it.
that part again.
I won't fix it. I will
Yeah.
not try to fix
Because I
it.
because you can't.
Can't. You can't. And it's okay to say how you feeling. How you feeling? If you want to learn how to do a safety plan, they're all
Mhm.
over you can find them everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's getting a person to commit that they're going to be okay until they see you again,
Yes.
and that they're
Yes.
if that idea changes, that they are committed to call you or call a family member,
Yes.
someone who is in conjunction, in collaboration with them surviving,
Hmm.
and
And
that.
where we give them the nudge, there is a buy-in from them, so they
Mhm,
don't feel forced.
mhm,
It's kind of like,
mhm.
okay, I could, yeah, I could do
I
that.
get that. Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
What would keep you here?
Yep. What's your why?
Okay,
Let's find one.
yes, my
Let's find.
brother, my belief.
Mhm,
I don't want to leave
mhm,
my parents. I really don't, or
mhm,
whatever.
mhm.
We
Or
find
the miracle question, you know, if you woke up tomorrow and a miracle happened,
what would that look like.
tell me that life. Tell me about that life.
Hmm.
And let them tell you about that life. And
Yes.
then say, what if I could help you? Let's walk that journey out. Let's see.
Hmm.
And whatever, helping people find a why for the next 7 days.
Yes.
But actually, if it's tomorrow, because I understand now that insurances will pay if they want to come back the next day, they just can't do two in the same day.
Right.
So I just learned that. So that's cool
Or if
too.
they do two on the same day, they could do
The crisis.
2 hours,
Oh,
the
okay.
stretch
Okay.
of like, yeah,
Okay. Okay. So I thought that that was cool, and was able to see
yeah,
somebody back to back. Um,
yes,
and
yes,
yeah, that was amazing. But yeah, so don't be afraid to have the conversation. Like,
yes.
that's the best thing you could do if you know someone that is talking about suicide or making
Hmm.
statements like, I don't want to live anymore. What's the point? Why must I go on? Looking for ways to kill themselves,
Right.
buying things, cleaning up, acting anxious,
Mm-hmm.
isolated, are you okay? But when people give clues, if they give clues, please don't back away. Don't be
Yeah.
like, don't talk like that. Don't say
Oh, I was
that.
just gonna say, please don't argue about how bad things are or are not.
Yeah, minimizing their
Don't
experiences.
minimize the experience. I have a list of things. Don't
Good.
insist that the depression is not warranted for their situation. So for you experiencing XYZ, you may feel like, okay, with a little help, I can get past that. Your experience is not their experience. Your experience is not their experience.
Mm-hmm.
Your experience is not their experience.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get to say, oh, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, you shouldn't be going there because of this,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't react with anger, even though your efforts to help may be seemingly resisted or rejected.
Because they probably will be.
And it's not about you.
It's not.
And if you went there to help them, if you
Then let
went
it be
there
about
to
them.
let it be about them.
And that takes practice. I'm not,
It
we're not
does.
bashing.
I
It takes
understand that
practice. It
you
does.
don't feel like you need help right now. Just know that I'm here when you do.
Yes, I am here.
Don't stop checking in, though.
Hmm.
Don't
I am
stop checking
here.
in. And if you feel rejected, we can help you or get you a referral.
Hmm.
Because then that's about something going on inside of you,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Um,
Yes.
Advocate for their recovery, convey hope,
Hmm. A
convey
lot of
hope.
hope. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
convey hope. That doesn't, again, look like demeaning or diminishing their experience,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Um, Emphasize that what they're going through can be helped,
Hmm.
right? Because what they need is somebody that will walk alongside with them
Hmm.
without judgment,
Hmm.
without
And
judgment.
it is okay to say, I can't even imagine what
Yeah.
that must be like for you. I cannot, because it's true. You can't.
Yep.
I can't imagine what that must be like for you. I am here.
Yes.
Mhm.
Try to help them find some assistance. You might find something, but you can't insist. You can just say,
Mhm.
like, I can
Here's
refer
the
you.
number going across the
Yes.
screen.
1-800-273-8255.
Yeah.
Yes. Be supportive
Mhm.
of them, or of the counselor or other doctor suggestions.
Mhm.
Sometimes um, the person, the loved one, kind of impedes the treatment by their
Yeah.
thought process about it
Mhm.
or about professionals that can help.
Mhm. That's really good. Can you break that down?
Yeah. So if you saw fit to give them the 1-800-273-8255 and they say to do a certain thing, be supportive of it. They
Mhm.
know what they're talking about. The
Mhm.
therapist knows.
Mhm.
I often hear people, even in a state where they're not suicidal, hear people, oh, we could do this. No, I can't even, I am a consumer of mental health therapy and I am a professional in the
Mhm.
field. And I can't even begin to convey to you what you get out of it when somebody else is helping you to process.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
not the same. I told somebody the other day, your friends and family are only going to help you based on their own level of ability and knowledge.
And what they think they know about you.
They cannot help
Mhm.
beyond that.
Mhm.
They won't ask the questions that we'll ask.
Mhm.
They won't provoke the thought process the way we will
Right.
because they don't know how. Neither did we. We went back for these licensing because we knew that we had this in us. We
Mhm.
knew we could do this work. We knew we wanted to help, but we also knew what beyond my limited knowledge, if there's something else, another way, technique
Yes.
to help me help them.
Mhm. And it's true.
And it's true.
It's true. It's
We
true.
know what we know, and we know how to use it. I want to venture to say, and it's a God given talent for us.
Mhm. Mhm.
I know that for a fact. When I am
Mhm.
talking to people, God, the divine, is dropping things to me.
All the time.
I say stuff, I give myself goosebumps.
It's
For
true.
real. I
It's
leave the session like, wow.
And if you are in that zone, if you have a spiritual connection with someone and this is happening, you too can ask spirit, what do I do now? How
Yes.
do I sit with this person? How do I be with this person? How do I engage with this
Yes.
person? How do I connect with this person? And make sure
Mhm.
that that's what you're doing. You're asking for the assistance and you're not going from the seat of your pants or going from your
Right.
own reactivity or going from your own
Yes.
fear space. If it's not
Yes.
a space from a loving space, then it's probably
Yeah.
from a fear space. And you might want to just chill out and take note. Hurting people will teach you how to help them. They
Yes.
will
Yes.
all the time. They will guide you. People have a misconception that therapists tell you what to do. First of all, we cannot give advice. Uh,
Right.
I don't know
We
how
don't
many times I
know.
have to say that. We're not allowed to give advice. It's not okay. But
Well, we don't give it because we're taught it, but then when you're in this field with the experience, you be like, I don't want to.
mm-mm.
Because what will happen is if it doesn't work for you, you'll come back and it's like, well,
Yeah, I tried that.
you say it. So it's always in the form of a question. What if?
Can you
Right?
consider?
Yes.
Can you
You
consider that
consider?
tomorrow is going to be so different?
Yeah. Can you sit in that for a second? Could you imagine what that might look like? Right. So again, be supportive of the counselors or other professionals that are trying to help. So if you have a child and the professional says, here's a referral,
Mm-hmm.
I suggest you try it out immediately.
Mm-hmm. Take them there. Take them
Take
there.
them
Take
there.
her
Don't
there.
passively resist.
They don't need all that. You just need to.
She's just looking for attention. Here's what I
Well,
have to say. I have
please,
worked.
please do not ever
Oh my God.
say that
Well, let
to
me
a
tell you what
person.
I say.
Please do not ever. That is abuse.
Yes.
And do not ever ask a question, what is wrong with you?
Because if they could figure out anything,
The question is, what happened to you?
exactly. Thank you.
What happened to you that you're here in this space and you don't want to live? What
Yes.
happened? Not what is wrong with you. And
Mhm.
oh, she just want attention. He just trying to get attention.
And
Oh
if you
my
think what's wrong
goodness.
with you, here's one. If anything's wrong with me, it's wrong with you because I am from your loins
Yeah, to parents.
to
Mm-hmm.
parents. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing. It's not nothing. What's wrong? It's what
It's not
happened,
nothing.
and how can I help?
Mm-hmm. I am here.
So that whole so what I say, because I've worked in crises for years, as a
And you work with children
and
too.
with children. Yep, doing the
Mm-hmm.
crises, it was with children. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, it was with babies, four,
Mm-hmm.
3,
Right. It was crazy.
um,
It used to
on
blow
up.
my mind.
Yes, that want to die.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, don't discount them either.
Mm-hmm.
And so when a parent would say to me, "Oh, he or she just want attention," I say, then that
Okay.
alone is enough
That's what I'm like.
for some
Okay.
assessment.
So what's your plan?
That alone is enough for some assessment. Oh, she just want attention. Okay, let's figure out why she just want attention. Then
Yes. I
that
got
still means something's
let's
going
just
on.
yeah, let's do 72 hours in the hospital and give her some attention. Sit your butt there with her for 72 hours.
Yes.
Hang out with her in the hospital for 72 hours. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hang out with her. Be a partner with her. Do this journey with her or him.
Right.
But yes, like they just want attention. Okay. So we need
Right.
to create a treatment plan for that.
Okay.
Let's let's give to her.
And
Let's
I
give it
also
to him.
say the person that needs the assistance or for you to call this number is really the squeaky wheel on the bus.
That's it,
The
babe.
whole bus
That's it.
has some trauma, some
Trauma.
upset, some something. The whole
Please,
bus,
please hear our hearts about that. If
the
if
entire
you are
bus.
a parent and that is an experience that you are having with a child,
Hmm.
that is just the squeaky wheel.
That's it.
And the question is, what happened to you? And what is the dynamics of that family structure? What is the dynamic? What is happening in this family of origin? What's happening in our home that
And
is
when the leader of the families come in, I asked,
mm-hmm.
what happened to you?
Yes, speed of the leader, speed of the team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. People do what they know to do.
That's it. That's it.
We cannot get to these little people and expect that they will react differently or do something majestically different when
Mm-hmm.
they were not brought up in something different than what they're
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
with the trauma,
Mm-hmm.
whether the trauma happened in the home or not.
What happened to you is the
What happened
question.
is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Mm-hmm.
empathetic and understanding.
Yes.
Just understand. It's amazing to me, and I used to say this working as a school counselor, and I would say this to teachers. It's amazing to me how there is no compassion unless you know the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Where they do that at?
Right.
You got to know the whole story before you can give compassion. What happened to the fact that you should be compassionate, period?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to know that I was sexually assaulted and that's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling depressed and down. You see me down and out. Just be empathetic and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to know why. We need to know reason. We need to know what happened. Oh, you're going to get the F. Oh, you're abused at home. Okay, well, I don't have to give you the F. I can do some makeup work. Oh, now you can? Because I got to tell my
Mm-hmm.
whole story? Come
Mm-hmm.
on. Let's just be empathetic and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
If God would treat us, some of us, with the lack of compassion, empathy, and understanding that we treat other people, wow, wow is all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
So please be understanding.
Mm-hmm.
This is really good. Don't try to cheer them up.
Please.
don't, don't try to cheer them up. Please don't.
It is a level of hopelessness that no one, unless you have experienced it, you cannot fathom the whole
Yes.
the depths
Of that hole.
of
Yes.
the
That,
despair that people,
yes.
when they are in a place of suicide ideation, it is a it
Yeah. And let me say this. When you are trying to cheer someone up, it is not about them. It is about your anxiety about what is happening right now.
mhm. And just do this.
Yeah.
That's my favorite line. Oh, okay, I'm self-soothing right now.
Yes.
Take care of
Take
yourself.
your shoes off and stand up. Because for real, you're
I'm
really
taking
like
care of
you're
me right
anxious,
now.
you're nervous about what could happen, and so you try to make them laugh and you just cheer them up, and
Come on, you want
that's
to
for
go
your
get ice
anxiety.
cream? Come on. You just need to get outside. Come on. I'm here.
I'm not saying like don't get some sun, do the necessary things. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that, but the whole just trying to play clown for them, trying to get them to laugh, trying to
Mhm.
that doesn't work.
Mhm.
Do you understand that when people are, and I often hear this, when people are severely depressed, it hurts.
It literally hurts.
I cannot
It's a hurt you
profess to,
cannot.
I was
Yes.
going to say, I cannot profess to tell you that I know what that feel like, but I can empathize with what it must feel like when I'm told by a client, it literally physically hurt.
All you can say is ouch. And you don't even know, nobody can't rub it away. You can't talk it away. I, it, yeah. But it's a pain that is, yeah. All
Yes.
you can say, one of the things that, we do in this room is say ouch.
Yes.
Whatever. I say ouch, whatever you want to call it. But give it a voice. Give it
Yes.
something. And it's
Yes.
ouch. If
Yes.
anybody's ever been, through a divorce, it's like a ripping of something that I can't explain it, but anyway, it's a deep, deep, dark
Mm-hmm.
place. And if people who suffer from like PMS, really bad PMS, that's how. Um,
Postpartum
uh-huh,
depression and
it's just you don't understand where it's coming from.
when I say I was mad, I was angry and
Mhm,
did not know why.
mhm,
I could rip somebody's head off.
mhm,
And then all of a sudden it would be gone. Can you imagine how confused I was?
mhm,
And it's like, why does this keep happening?
mhm,
I believed, you know, because that's what I was led to believe, that I just had an attitude or, and that wasn't it.
mhm.
And I'll tell anybody, people that are struggling with this, they don't want to be. Do you think if they could just stop,
Don't nobody
they,
just wake up with an
they
attitude.
would?
Nobody does that. Nobody created by the creator just wakes up with an attitude. Like
No,
nobody does that.
no,
Animals don't do it. Plants don't do it. Certainly, we don't do that.
we don't.
Something has happened.
Yes, absolutely.
Something has always happened. And the question is, what has happened to you?
Yeah.
What happened?
And if they choose not to answer,
And they
that's
won't.
they won't, because that's the question we ask now. Simply ask, is there anything that I can do to help? The
Yeah.
answer will often be no.
No. Mhm.
It's okay. But they
And the
still
statement is,
the
I am
support,
here. Yep.
the support is felt. They
I am
feel it.
here. Hmm.
They know. They
Hmm.
know. Avoid critical and shaming statements. I mean, we talked about that. That's a
Hmm.
big one. That's just a big one because there's such a
Hmm.
stigma
Hmm. You need
around.
to just get over it.
We do that in grief. We do that in grief of anything, breakups, death, losing a job.
Hmm.
I just want people to understand that the criticism, the critical and shaming statements, the judgments, and all of that has nothing to do with the person, ever has anything to do with the person you're talking to about anything, whether it's depression,
Hmm.
whatever it is. It is
Whatever it
all
is.
your own anxiety. Check yourself.
Hmm.
It is your anxiety
Hmm.
about life, about what's going to happen to them,
Your
about
level of
whatever.
uncomfortability. Hmm.
Yes. Challenge expressions of hopelessness. I tiptoe around that very carefully because
Yeah.
if you're not a professional, you don't really, probably don't know how to do that. So we'll scratch
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
don't know how to do that. It can be
Mm-mm.
more damaging than not.
Hmm.
Um, Empathize with the feelings of sadness, grief, anger,
Please.
and frustration.
Please. And if you don't know what empathy is, look it up.
Other feelings will come in time. That happy you want them to have and all of that. Help them get over this hump. Help them to
Hmm.
process through this. Help them to get the assistance that they need when they're ready. And the other, the joy, all that is gonna come.
Yes.
Is gonna come. You don't need to create that for them.
It's so
Yeah.
true. Please. And it is my deepest desire that whoever listens to this, that you benefited from it, because this is a season that we are coming into. We deal with this even in the summer, but
Yes.
it
Yes.
is going to start ramping up. We
Hmm.
got people back to school. We have, people back to work. We got people possibly not going back. We have so many reasons for people to
Yes.
become
So many
severely
dynamics. Yeah.
depressed,
Yeah.
that will just want to, I cannot, or we cannot emphasize the sensitivity that is needed
Yes.
around this, because people are feeling hopeless, um, and prayers aren't being answered fast enough, and um, people ain't picking up phone calls enough, and people aren't attached and connected like they were back in the day. Everybody is between screens. Heck, look at us, we on the screen,
Yeah.
where we would be having this kind of stuff in person.
Yeah.
But so people are isolated and lonely and feeling disconnected, and this time of
Mm.
year where it would be like, cities putting lights up and celebrating, this is not everybody's story.
It's
And
not.
so there I just we want to make this awareness, so that when your loved ones seem to be withdrawn or isolated or kind of different, why you acting all funny?
Right. You always up in your room.
Yeah.
And that's going to make me come out.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That
please
part.
just be mindful. Oh, just
I hear
be
that from teenagers
mindful.
time and time again, that that's what's said.
Oh, I know. My punishment was sitting in the living room. That was me being grounded.
And I'm going to not be mad now. Let me say this. This is important. If this is you,
Yeah.
reach out to someone.
Yeah. We get it.
We
Hmm.
get it. Reach out to someone. If you've experienced any of the things that we've said to people to not do,
Hmm.
understand that they don't understand
Hmm. Hmm.
and get to somebody who will.
Yes.
But at 1-800-273-8255, somebody will be on the other end of that line who understands.
Yes. Have compassion, listening, more
Yes.
listening,
Yes.
and more listening, and sometimes just sitting there with you.
Yes.
Hmm.
Just be.
Hmm.
Just be.
Hmm.
If you are not at that state where you are in danger, but you are depressed, you are feeling depressed, consider, or you're just feeling blah, because sometimes it's just like ugh, blah. Consider um, things that you're engaged in to get you away from stressful times and negative thoughts.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I had someone that say, well, I can't, it's difficult for me to do affirmations. Okay, do gratitude.
Hmm.
I tell you, when you start to engage in gratitude, you start to feel better.
Yes. It's like a magic pill.
Yes. I am not talking to the person who is suffering from major depression
No.
disorder.
Mm-mm.
Because in that case, psychiatry, medication, and it doesn't have to be a lifetime of that either, just
It's
to you
just
get
enough to
to
get
leveled out
yes.
where you can start. But by golly, you got to do something. Once it starts to level out, you got to do something different organically
Please
with your eating and your sleeping and your exercise and
exercise.
even what you take into your brain.
Yes.
I have not, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you've seen it. I have not watched the Suicide Squad.
What's that?
It's a movie that all the kids were watching.
Really?
I probably should, but because of the title, I'm like, I'm not watching that.
Hmm.
And it's about, it was a trend. No. Watch what you're watching, what you put into your brain,
Wow.
because it influences the thought process, the negative talk. It
Mm.
influences that. I don't watch the news.
I don't watch TV either.
Somebody's going to tell me. If I want
Right.
to see something, I'll pull it up on my phone and watch it. But I don't, because somebody's going to tell you about it. It's going to pop up on social media.
Right. When
You
you need it. Mm-hmm.
The radio. I might as well be living under a rock though, because I don't listen to the
Me too.
radio. I don't watch TV. I get in the car. Mariah's like, I'm driving my own car because you like to ride in silence.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not
Beautiful.
just silence. I do love silence. I said, but then I don't want to hear it. Who wants to hear the do in loud early in the morning? Like I get angry. I literally get angry if
Yeah.
I
I'm in
hear that.
silence.
If I hear a lot of noise early in the morning. Stephanie will tell you, I'm walking, and if a loud car at 6 o'clock in the morning go by me, I say, see, this is what I'm talking about right here. Sister,
You don't even like to go in loud stores. So
yes. Oh, when I go, we're going to a loud store and it's real loud. I can't shop there. I gotta go.
yeah.
I'm all
So,
about peace. I'm all about peace. So
yeah.
check the activities you're engaged in, engage in some, find some free time to spend on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
to help you out in stressful times and with negative thoughts. Get some, self care. We talk about this time and
Wow.
time again.
Mm-hmm.
And most subjects we talk about, you can't really talk about without talking about what we've talked about before, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
all of it works hand in hand.
Yes. Yes.
Taking care of your body, whether it's what you eat, what you put in your bodies, whether it's exercising, standing out in the sun,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, getting a massage,
Mm-hmm.
just being.
Mhm.
Those quiet moments for me is just being.
Mhm. Mhm.
I meditate. I don't think I meditate in the same fashion that you do, Stephanie. Like I'll listen to a meditation and things like that, because my brain tends to do this ADHD thing
Mhm.
where stuff just starts. And
Mhm.
so for me, just being, just being,
Being still. Mhm. Mhm.
just being still.
Mhm.
So that looks like maybe spending time in nature, laughing. I can remember sometimes
Oh my
turning
gosh,
on
yeah.
America's Funniest Videos intentionally.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I would laugh until whatever it was I was thinking about or had me my mind spiraling would I wouldn't even be thinking about it anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Accepting yourself, right? With
Yes.
all of your I don't even like imperfections because I think we're perfect just the way we are.
Mhm.
But love yourself, accept yourself with everything that comes with you.
Yes.
I just posted, and if you didn't see it, go to my page and see it. I was walking past a storefront, and this literally, I had walked past, and I got a glimpse of myself in the window, and I kept going, and then I walked back, and I was like, "You look good." So I took a picture of it. It was like I was walking past the storefront, and I ran into this sister, and it was, "You look good," because I feel good,
Mhm.
It's those types of things.
Mhm.
Treating yourself. Only try to change yourself. Only change you if you want to change something, not other people.
Yes. Yeah, and someone who is challenged with depression, one of the things that, ask yourself, can I think a different thought in this moment?
Yes. I'm so glad you said that because when you think about, I heard a video this morning on a mastermind call about metacognition, the
Mhm.
ability to be aware of what you're thinking about. And I
Mhm.
say this, we are a being, the only being perhaps, that can
Think
think
about
about
it.
what we think about and
Mhm.
change what we think about.
Mhm. Mhm.
We can think about what we think about and change what we
Mhm.
think about.
Mhm. You can think again. You can
And think
always
again.
think again.
And you can always think again.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Stacy, hey Stacy. Stacy said, "Good talk, ladies. Wonderful information." Um, and Aisha says, "Perfectly imperfect." Absolutely. And hi Jamil. She said that was great. Um,
Thank you all. Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much.
ladies. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So, ask for help. You're not a super person. If you need
Mhm.
assistance, ask for the assistance, right?
Mhm.
Um, Spend less time in front of electronics and the news,
Mhm.
and listen to that over and over and over because it only re traumatizes us.
Yeah, and anything that affirms a negative experience, don't be
Yeah.
bothered with it. It'll be there when you get better. Hopefully you won't want it.
Connect with family and friends. I know that COVID is out here, so disclaimer is we're not telling you to go and be around a lot of people. As a matter of fact, we're not telling you to go be around anyone that you're not comfortable doing. But what I'm
Mhm.
going to say to you is sometimes I got to get with my people and hug them
Right. Please touch somebody.
because my God is greater than me being afraid to touch somebody because I
Mhm.
might get COVID.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
just saying we
Yeah.
were created. We were created for touch and
Mhm.
fellowship.
Mhm.
So do that. Try to do things because you want to and not out of obligation.
Please. Mhm.
Um, yes, Jamel said, yes, he is greater
Mhm.
than that. Practice gratitude daily. We talked about that. I cannot say that enough.
Mhm.
Practice gratitude daily. It'll start to change what you're
It's
thinking.
like magic.
It is.
It's the
Yes, it is.
abracadabra of life.
Yes.
Mhm.
You start thinking about all the things. You can't even list them all. I started thinking about all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
Of course, the natural things we go to. Thank you for this house and
Mhm.
food and family. And then you start thinking about how the body works and how it all works together and how majestic that is.
Mhm.
How just all
Right?
kinds
I
of
don't have to be plugged up like an electric car, and I still get up every day. Just wake up.
yes.
No
We
unplugging, no
yes.
detaching from wires, no. you
One of
know.
these days, I'm going to put that old phone alarm off because I don't need it. I wake up every day like clockwork at 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you why I need it. Because I don't want to get up and I need to hit snooze to 6. But I need to get up because then it's like a second sleep and I didn't get it out. And now I don't want to get up at all. So I need to just stay up. But I don't really need an
Don't
alarm
need it.
clock.
Mm-mm.
I just get up like my body was like, it's time to get up.
Yep, it's 4 o'clock. I
Yes.
I dropped the hour because something about the time change. It's not. It's different. I can't. three
Yeah.
o'clock it doesn't happen. And automatically, my body said, "No, we're doing 4."
Yes. Express your feelings. Focus on meaningful, positive aspects of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Surround yourself with positive people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people can drain us if we allow them to.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be intentional about this because we're talking about the ahas and the wonderful goosebumpy moments that we have with our clients. But there are some days we could feel depleted.
Hmm.
Or did we say enough? Did we do enough? Did we help? Right?
Every day.
Don't it's healthy to say no to people. To you don't have to be the sacrificial lamb.
Right.
you know, right? Spend some time alone with the Lord and all his that's what my walk does in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yes, get to know who you are. Listen to your instincts. At the very least, see a therapist. I'm not
Just try
knocking.
it.
I'm not knocking anybody in their profession, but there is just a certain work that we do
Mm-hmm.
that your girlfriend might not be able to do for
Mm-hmm.
you. Sometimes even your leader, your religious leader, unless of course they've been, because a lot of religious leaders have degrees in this area and have been to school and experiences and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just you know, follow your gut too when you're talking to people.
Right. Right.
Even with therapists, sometimes it's not a good match.
That's right.
Follow your gut and keep searching for your health,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Practice the meditations and things like that. And I'm just going through these quickly. Limit your alcohol, caffeine, drugs, and tobacco.
Caffeine. No, I agree.
I know, because even though it gives us this positive effect at first,
Mm-mm.
there is a crash
There
coming.
is. There is. Especially if you're not taking care of your body too. So yeah, there is a residual effect for caffeine every day. So
Yes.
mhm.
And by golly, if you've been prescribed psychiatric medications,
Please take it.
take them as prescribed. Because remember, depression can be temporary, a temporary difficulty. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a reflection of your whole life or your self
Mm-hmm.
worth.
Mm-hmm.
It is not.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
This was good.
And this was good.
I'm glad we were able to talk about this. I hope that the person who actually inboxed me and got a chance to watch. If she didn't, I will hit her up so she can see and and refer people to look at the recording of it. So the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, we can all help prevent suicide. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people
Yes.
distressed, prevention, and crisis resources for you or your loved ones. So hear that, not just the person that's in crisis
That's right.
in the suicidal ideation. It can be helpful for you and your loved ones, and
Mm-hmm.
best practices for professionals. And again, the number is 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-8255. Right? If you need to text, the crisis text line is text the word START to 741-741.
Good.
Yep. And you can send a 24/7, you can send a text message. Again, text the word START to the number 741-741. Yes. Thank you guys. We
Oh,
appreciate
thank
you.
you. Yes.
We help somebody today. And we're going to be
Believe big.
bringing more,
Mm-hmm.
more to you for sure.
Mm-hmm. For
Thank
sure.
you, Stephanie, my friend.
Yes. That's
Jamal
my
said,
pleasure.
thank you, ladies. Awesome information.
Thank you
Um,
for watching,
yes,
listening.
yes. Somebody said that's one of the symptoms of getting old. I love that engaging gratitude. How awesome that is. Yes. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much for watching. Thank you for your participation in speaking, participating with us. Someone said, Aisha said, thank you for the confirmation today. You are
Yes.
so welcome.
Yes. Very welcome.
You are
Share it, share it, share it, and share it
welcome.
again, and share it again, share it again. This
Yes.
is the season that we need to be mindful
Do
of.
me a favor. If you will share this as soon as you're off, share this live on your page.
Mm-hmm.
Put share in the put I will share or just the word
Mm-hmm.
share. Put that
Yeah.
and wrap that in the chat. I will
Mm-hmm.
share. Oh, it
Mm-hmm.
looks like we got interrupted. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back and say that. But you want to put I will share.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yes, for sure. Oh, there we're back. We're back. So what I was saying is if you will share with someone, please drop in the comment section, I will share. Yes, please, please, please share this with people.
Please. Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm going to share over and over again. I'm going to share it into different groups. I'm going to reshare it to different groups that I'm a part of because this is important.
It is.
This is important.
It's real.
Yes. Thank you, Jamel.
Thank you,
Jamel said I
Japan.
will share. I should.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
I will share it.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, please share.
Yep.
Also, you can go to my YouTube on Heads Up Mental Clarity and click the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime that I do anything on YouTube, and share that information. This recording will also be on YouTube as well as Facebook. So,
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie, you want to tell them where they can find you?
Psychology Today is Stephanie McCain, LMFT, and then oh my goodness, sorry, Lamplight Counseling Services here in Independence, Ohio.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find me on Psychology Today, Michelle Bird, Facebook at Michelle Bird, Michelle D. Bird, YouTube, Heads Up Mental Clarity, Instagram on Mrs. Bird LPC, and LinkedIn on Michelle Bird. And then you can find me on ChicagoCompassCounseling.com. That's the practice that I work with. So, yeah, you can find us in many areas. So, all
Mm-hmm.
right. Thank you
All
guys so
right.
much for
Thank you.
participating. Thank you for sharing. Thank you,
Yes.
Stephanie. This was
You're
awesome. This was
welcome. It
awesome.
was. Thank
All right.
you.
Take
Thank you.
care.
All right. Have a great night.
Bye bye.